Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something pretty wild. It's a system of thought called Transdimensional Space Magic, and it's all built around one radical idea, that your consciousness isn't just a passenger in the universe, it's the pilot. So let's start with the huge question at the very heart of all this. What if your thoughts could literally shape the world around you? And I don't mean in a positive thinking kind of way. I mean, what if it was a fundamental law of physics? And right here is the core premise. The source material argues that the universe isn't just a bunch of dead rocks floating in space. Instead, it's alive, it's aware, and it's constantly responding to us. Honestly, this one single idea is the foundation for everything that's about to follow. Okay, so if the universe is alive, our first stop has to be figuring out how it listens. The text calls this the enlivening principle, and it's pretty much the engine that makes this whole thing work. The source describes this as a tangible force, almost like a cosmic lifeblood that flows through everything. And this force creates something called an information field. You can kind of think of it like a Wi-Fi network for consciousness. It's what allows our thoughts and our intentions to connect with, to charge up, and even to animate physical objects. The basic idea is that your focused thought can literally make matter sit up and pay attention. So the universe is listening. Great. How do we talk to it? What's the actual language it understands? Well, according to the source, the answer is in mastering a very specific metaphysical tool, what it calls the second alchemical key. This is the central mechanism, and it goes by the name Qabalistic cinnabar. Now, this isn't some physical substance you can go out and find. The text describes it more like a vermilion light. It's a focused principle, an idea that lets you consciously interact with what ancient philosophers called the animus mundi, or the soul of matter. In short, it's the language that this living universe actually understands. And the source breaks down the power of this key into four basic functions. First, you use it to enliven matter. Then, once it's enlivened, you can transform it. From there, you can actually imbue empty space itself with an information field. And finally, you can animate pretty much anything with your thoughts. It's a complete toolkit for reshaping reality, from a tiny pebble to the very air around you. All right, now we get to how this stuff is actually applied. And this is where it gets really fascinating, because the source draws this straight line from ancient mystical concepts directly to speculative futuristic technology. It shows how this one principle has been understood in different ways throughout time. So check this out. The source uses a really powerful analogy. It points to the old theological concept of transsignification, where bread and wine in a church ceremony don't physically change, but their entire meaning, their significance, is fundamentally altered. Well, the modern version of that is what the text calls alchemical volts, using technology to turn intangible information into a tangible, animated reality. You see? It's the exact same principle, changing the meaning to change the reality. The text describes these alchemical vaults as these little packets of pure intention. It even calls them virtual salamanders that can leap across huge distances. Apparently, they work through a process called transdimensional electromagnetization, which you can think of as a way to broadcast a thought. And they use tools like animation chips to make that thought physically manifest wherever it's sent. And here's where you really see that blend of magic and physics come to life. The text describes a whole suite of these speculative gadgets. I mean, geospicic chronomorphs, maybe that's a device that lets you tap into the consciousness of a specific location over time. Or cybernetic talismans, which sound like they're just updating ancient magical charms for the digital age. Every single one of these concepts is designed to harness that enlivening principle we talked about earlier. Okay, so we've reshaped matter, we've animated objects, but the text claims this goes so much further. The ultimate potential here isn't just about influencing our own world, but about making direct contact with other realities entirely. This is presented as the most advanced application of that alchemical key we've been talking about. It's called Akashic Cinnabar, and its whole purpose is to allow for direct interaction beyond the veil of our own dimension. And yeah, this is where the claims just go through the roof. We're way beyond just influencing objects now. The abilities described here include physically materializing beings from other dimensions, teleporting between realities, and even directly transmuting energy into matter. This is pretty much the endgame of the entire system. The text is very, very clear on what it means by all this. Materialization is the process of making the unreal real. It's about taking a non-physical consciousness, a thought, a spirit, a being from another plane, and giving it a fully tangible physical body right here in our dimension. But, and this is a huge but, the source adds a critical warning. This kind of power comes with an immense amount of responsibility. It says that beings from other dimensions operate under totally different physical and energetic rules. So if you bring them here, you are then responsible for creating an environment where they can actually exist safely. And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. After exploring this entire wild, esoteric system, it all comes back to us. If the universe truly is alive, if it's really listening, then the most important question is, what are we telling it? What reality are we animating into existence with every thought, every single moment?